Sai Ram, Sri Sai Satcharitra, Chapter 46. Baba's Gaya Trip, Story of Goats. This chapter describes Shyama's trip to Kashi, Prayag, and Gaya, and how Baba, in the form of his portrait, was there ahead of him. It also describes Baba's reminiscences of the past birth of two goats. Preliminary. Blessed, O Sai, are your feet, blessed is your remembrance, and blessed is your darshan, which frees us from the bond of karma. Though your form is invisible to us now, still, if the devotees believe in you, they get living experiences from you. By an invisible and subtle thread, you draw your devotees from far and near to your feet and embrace them like a kind and loving mother. The devotees do not know where you are, but you so skillfully pull the wires that they ultimately realize that you are at their back to help and support them. The intelligent, wise, and learned folk fall into the pit of the samsara on account of their egoism, but you save by your power the poor, simple, and devout persons. Inwardly and invisibly, you play all the game, but show that you are not concerned with it. You do things and pose yourself as a non doer. Nobody ever knows your life. The best course, therefore, for us is to surrender our body, speech, and mind to your feet and always chant your name for destroying our sins. You fulfill the wishes of the devotees, and to those who are without any desire, you give bliss supreme. Chanting your sweet name is the easiest sadhan for devotees. By this sadhan, our sins, rajas, and tamas qualities will vanish. The sattva qualities and righteousness will gain predominance, and along with this, discrimination, dispassion, and knowledge will follow. Then we shall abide in ourselves and our Guru, who are one and the same. This is what is called complete surrender to the Guru. The only sure sign of this is that our mind gets calm and peaceful. The greatness of this surrender, devotion, and knowledge is unique. For peace, non attachment, fame, and salvation, etc., come in its train. If Baba accepts a devotee, he follows him and stands by him day and night at his home or abroad. Let the devotee go anywhere he likes. Baba is there ahead of him in some form in an inconceivable manner. The following story illustrates this. Sometime after Kaka Sahib Dikshit was introduced to Sai Baba, he decided to perform the thread ceremony Upanayan of his eldest son Babu at Nagpur. At about the same time, Nana Sahib Chandorkar decided to perform the marriage ceremony of his eldest son at Gwalior. Both Dikshit and Chandorkar came to Shirdi and lovingly invited Baba for these functions. Baba asked them to take Shyama as his representative. When he was pressed to come in person, Baba told them to take Shyama with them and that after doing Banets and Prayag, he would be ahead of Shyama. Now mark these words, for they show Baba's all-pervasiveness. Taking the permission of Baba, Shyama decided to go to Nagpur and Gwalior for these functions and ceremonies, and thence to Kashi, Prayag, and Gaya. Appa Kote made up his mind to accompany him. They both went first to Nagpur for the thread ceremony. Kaka Sahib Dikshit gave Shyama 200 rupees for his expenses. Then they went to Gwalior for the marriage ceremony. There, Nana Sahib Chandorkar gave Shama 100 rupees, and his Vyahi relation, Mr. Jatar, gave him also 100 rupees. Then Shama went to Kashi and then to Ayodhya, where he was well received in Jatar's beautiful temple of Lakshmi Narayan at Kashi, Varanasi or Banaras, and in the Rama Mandir at Ayodhya by Jatar's manager. They, Shama and Kote, stayed for 21 days in Ayodhya and 2 months in Kashi. Then they left for Gaya. In the train, they felt a little uneasy on hearing that plague was prevailing in Gaya. At night, they alighted at Gaya station and stayed in Dharmashala. In the morning, the Gayawala, the priest who arranges and provides for the lodging and boarding of the pilgrims, came there and said, "The pilgrims have already started, you better make haste." Shama casually asked him whether there was plague in Gaya. "No," said the Gayawala. "Please come without any fear or anxiety and see yourself." Then they went with him and stayed in his house, which was a big and commodious vada. Shama was pleased with the accommodation provided for him, but what pleased him most was the beautiful big portrait of Baba fixed in the central and front portion of the building. Seeing this portrait, Shama was overwhelmed with emotion. He remembered Baba's words, that is, after doing Kashi and Prayag, he would be ahead of Shama, and burst into tears. His head stood on end, his throat was choked, and he began to sob. The Gayawala thought that he was afraid of plague prevailing there and therefore was crying. But Shama inquired of him whence he got Baba's portrait there. He replied that he had 200 or 300 agents working at Manmat and Panatambal for looking to the convenience of the pilgrims to Gaya, and from them he heard about Baba's fame. Then, about 12 years ago, he went to Shirdi and took Baba's darshan. There he wanted Baba's portrait hung in Shama's house, and with Baba's permission, Shama gave it to him. This was the same portrait. Shama then remembered this former incident. The Gayawala's joy knew no bounds when he learned that the same Shama who obliged him before was his guest then. Then they both exchanged love and service and were most delighted and happy. The Gayawala gave him a right royal welcome. He was a very rich man. He sat in a palanquin and made Shama ride an elephant and attended to all his comforts and conveniences. The moral of the story is this: the Baba's words came out true to the letter in unbounded was his love towards the devotees. But leave this aside, he also loved all creatures equally, for he felt that he was one with them. The following story will illustrate this. Two goats. Baba was once returning from Lendi when he saw a flock of goats. Two of them attracted his attention. He went to them, caressed and fondled them, and brought them for 32 rupees. The devotees were surprised at this conduct of Baba. They thought that Baba was duped in this bargain, as the goats would fetch 2 rupees each, at the most 3 rupees or 4 rupees each, that is 8 rupees for both. They began to take Baba to task for this, but Baba kept calm and cool. Shama and Tatya Kote asked Baba for an explanation. He said he should not store money as he had no home and any family to look after. He asked them to purchase at his cost 4 seeds of dal, lentil, and feed the goats. After this was done, Baba returned the goats to the owner of the flock and gave out of the following reminiscences and story of the two goats. O Shama and Tatya, you think that I have been deceived in this bargain. No, listen to their story. In their former birth, they were human beings and had the good fortune to be my companions and sit by my side. They were uterine brothers, loving each other at first, but later on they became enemies. The elder brother was an idle fellow, while the younger one was an active chap and earned a lot of money. The former became greedy and jealous and wanted to kill his brother and take away his money. They forgot their fraternal relations and began to quarrel with each other. The elder brother resorted to many devices to kill his younger brother, but all of his attempts failed. Thus, they became deadly enemies, and finally, on one occasion, the elder one gave a deadly blow with a big stick on the latter's head, while the latter struck the former with an axe, with the result that both fell dead on the spot. As the result of their actions, they were both born as goats. As they passed by me, I at once recognized them. I remembered their past history. Taking pity on them, I wanted to feed them and give them rest and comfort, and for this reason I spent all the money for which you reprove me. As you did not like my bargain, I sent them back to their shepherd. Such was Sai's love for the goats. Bow to Sri Sai, peace be to all.